Mr. X, 65-year-old manual laborer, complains of numbness right side. Today, as he woke up from sleep few hours, was very well till today morning. Was working in the field till evening. Went to sleep okay. Woke up to find that his right side was numb. Few hours later, started swaying to right side while walking. He was numb right side, including face. Had difficulty to take foot to mouth, hold glass, pick objects. Whenever he started walking, he started swaying to right side. Also had difficulty to navigate into his footwear. No loss of consciousness, headache, vomiting, features of seizures, symptoms pertaining to cranial nerves. No weakness, bladder symptoms.
What do you make out of this scenario?
Right side was numb, sir. Uh, right side thinking of hemiparesis. Right hemiparesis.
Okay. What else you think about this case?
Sir, right side sensory loss like that it's looking like.
Yes, okay, sensory loss. What else can you make out?
No weakness was there, sir, and no features of
Yes, there is no weakness. Yes, there is hemisensory loss. What else he is hearing?
face also included, sir, and face also numbness towards the right side.
Yes, okay.
It's looking like hemi-anesthesia, sir.
That's right. Anything else can you make out? Why he is not able to take food to his mouth and hold glass?
Loss of position sense.
Okay. Why he is not able to walk?
By position loss of position sensor, because of that is not able to walk.
Why he is swaying to right side particularly?
Involvement of cerebellum, sir.
Cerebellum. Which part of cerebellum is involved?
Right side cerebellum only, sir.
Okay. Is it the lobe of cerebellum or the midline of cerebellum?
Flocculonodular lobe, it leads to ataxia.
What will be the symptoms if the midline is affected? Midline lesions of cerebellum, what symptoms are commonly seen?
In,
Usually, when this midline is affected, you will have what is called as triangle ataxia.
okay, sir.
So there is no triangle ataxia, so it's possibly the lobe which is affected, not the midline, and he has got sensory loss on the right side of the body. Where do you localize the sensory loss?
Sensory loss and 312, sir, in sensory cortex.
Sensory cortex. What do you mean by
and hemithalamus.
Cortical sensation. What do you mean by cortical sensation?
Stereognosis.
Okay, stereognosis. What else?
2-point discrimination.
2-point discrimination. Good.
Tactile localization.
That's very good. Okay, what else? Anything else? What is graphesthesia?
Writing on the hand, able to identify what we draw on his hands.
Yes. What is sensory attention? What is sensory inattention?
Not sure, sir.
Okay, sensory attention, inattention means when you simultaneously touch similar points on two sides of the body, mirror points, patient must be able to appreciate which side you have touched it, provided primary sensations are intact.
Okay.
How do you localize in the cortex in this case? What made you think it's cortex?
In the cortex.
Then second possibility you said was thalamus. Why did you say thalamus?
Sensory relay.
So why did you say it's a thalamus? Okay. So if you have a spinal cord lesion, what will be sensory loss like?
Towards the same side, loss of vibration position sense, and opposite side, loss of pain and temperature.
If it is complete transection of the spinal cord, whole lower part will be affected, no?
Yes, sir.
If it is heavy section, what you said is correct. Brown-Sequard syndrome.
Yes, sir.
What will the pattern if the medulla is affected? What will the sensory level like? You will get what's called crossed hemianesthesia.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell about the innervation of the face?
By trigeminal nerve, sir.
Okay. So where does this trigeminal pathway joins the spinothalamic pathway? When do they join together?
At the C1.
At the upper part of the midbrain, lower pons, they come together.
Yes, sir.
So when there is a hemisensory loss, it has to be somewhere from there on. So can it be a midbrain lesion?
Right, yes, sir. Right side, both same side of the face and.
But what are the cranial nerves situated in the midbrain?
In midbrain, 3 and 4.
Okay, they are not affected. So that is not possible place. Where else can be the lesion higher up? Higher up, where else can be the lesion? It can be in the thalamus.
Yes, sir.
So you said two sides, thalamus and?
Got 3-1-2 primary sensory.
Okay, you said the cerebellar is also affected, no?
Yes, sir.
Then?
The sensory complaints worsened over a period of 1 day and gradually improved. As a past history, known diabetic for the last 5 years, chronic smoker and non-alcoholic. On examination, vitals normal.
So what possibility you consider in this case? What's the etiology? What's the pathology? What's the anatomical lesion? Like that.
Might be embolic, sir.
Might be embolic. But it happened while you are sleeping, no?
Yes, sir.
So thrombosis is equally possible.
Yes, sir.
Why do we prefer the embolism?
Recovery is like period of 1 day it's recovered and gradually improved.
Improved. Okay. Usually when patients wake up, they find that this complaint can be thrombus, and posterior circulatory system, commonly embolism is more common. Okay. So you think it's a cerebrovascular accident basically, no?
Yes, sir.
That's why it's possibility cerebrovascular. So the question is regarding localization. You already said it can be thalamus or it can be the cortex. Okay. What else information is required for you in this case? You would like to hear the story of TIA?
TIA within 24 hours you will get improvement will be there, sir.
Also, you need to hear about his cardiac situation, whether he's having valvular heart disease, whether he's having atrial fibrillation, recent myocardial infarction.
Yes, sir. Echo will consider.
So you have to consider embolism. You have to go through those such details also.
Okay,
So
sir.
you have a possible diagnosis of cerebrovascular accident. So examination nervous system, these are the findings.
Higher mental function was normal. Cranial nerve examination was normal. And not coming to motor system, tone decreased on right side. Power was normal. Deep tendon reflexes normal. Plantar is flexor on both sides. Finger nose test positive on right side. Dysdiadochosis positive. Past pointing on right side. Rebound on right place. Post tandem gait tends to fall to right side. Pen larger negative. So it's cerebellar involvement is there, sir.
Okay. So how do you explain the tone in this case?
Regarding the which part of cerebellum, sir?
Yes, cerebellar disease can produce hypotonia. So can you tell us other causes of hypotonia?
UMN.
Okay.
UMN.
Sensory system. Touch temperature pain decreased on the right side.
Sensation lost on right side of the face, trunk and limbs. Rest of the CNS normal. Other systems are normal.
So where are we then? Can you explain the cerebellar disease and sensory problem together in one lesion?
So superior cerebellar.
Sensory deficit can be easily localized at the level of the thalamus. So only question is how to explain ataxia in this case when there is a. So what is this pathway? This is a pathway connecting the dentate nucleus in cerebellum.
Yes, sir.
Going to the cortex via thalamus.
Okay, sir.
So dentato-rubro-thalamo-cortical tract can be affected, and in this case, simple lesion in the thalamus can produce both the findings of sensory loss. So, what all investigations do you plan in this case?
MRI brain, sir.
MRI brain, okay. So,
And 2D echo we will do.
pardon?
2D echo, sir.
2D echo
MRI
will do.
brain.
2D echo will do. And we will do imaging to find out what is happening. Imaging is showing multiple areas of infarct here and there, particularly in the thalamus. So we are convinced that it is possibly a thalamic lesion. So the risk factors being diabetes and the thalamus. Now tell me about the what is the thalamic syndrome?
Hemisensory loss, sir.
So it's a chronic disabling situation following a cerebrovascular accident affecting the thalamus, characterized by hyperalgesia and alloidynia. Previously it was called as thalamic syndrome. Now it is called as central post-stroke pain, and it's very, very disabling. It's a burning and tingling type of pain, and the disruption of the pathways of the brain that affects the sensations of temperature, basically. So, it's very difficult to treat, and usually antidepressants are given, analgesics are given, and it's a long-term process to rehabilitate these patients. So, what are the four major vascular territories of thalamus? Can you tell something about the blood vessels supplying the thalamus? Basically, they are all branches of the posterior cerebral artery, and it is variable from individual to individual. It may be coming from the first part of the posterior cerebral artery P1 segment or P2 segment. Okay, so it can produce different types of syndromes. Rarely, thalamus will be site of bleeding or thalamic hemorrhage. So clinically, bedside examination of thalamic hemorrhage, how do you make out? Thalamic hemorrhage, how do you make out?
Loss of sensation is loss of sensory loss, half
When
of the
somebody
body.
comes with a headache, vomiting, loss of consciousness, we usually think about hemorrhage. And hemorrhage can occur in pons, it can occur in thalamus, it can be in the basal ganglia, it can be cerebellum, pons, basal ganglia, thalamus, and even subcortical area can be bleeding. So all these areas got definite signs as far as eyes are concerned. As you know, the basal ganglia, there will be conjugate deviation to away from the lesion. And when there's a pinpoint pupil, you will think about fountain hemorrhage. And when the patient is looking to the tip of the nose, both eyes will be converging to the nose, you will be thinking about thalamic hemorrhage. So this gentleman was actually having a lacunar stroke on imaging, and he just improved within 1 day. But there was some deficit to continue. And when he was going home, there was a 25% deficit of the sensation, and some ataxia was also present.
Okay, sir.
So, what type of gait you expect in this patient? In cerebellum, what type of gait you expect?
Drunken gait.
So, if you want to elicit a sign to detect minimum amount of cerebellar involvement, what type of gait you test? How do you test that gait?
We'll check Romberg, sir.
Pardon?
We'll check Romberg sign.
Romberg sign is
tandem.
basically for posterior column, no? You have to check for the tandem gait. How do you check for tandem gait?
We'll tell the person to walk in a straight line.
That's right, one foot in front of the other.
Yes, sir.
That's a very good idea. So, very nice of you. You have discussed a very good case, ZVA, ischemic stroke. To start with, it looked like a baffling situation, but when we know the pathway, it's easy to localize the lesion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubt you have got about this case? No. If so, we'll wind it up, okay?
Thank you, sir. I will
Thank
join
you.
next.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.